Rogue Elements, a Ryan Drake story, is a new action short film directed by Travis Scott, who also co-wrote it along with Will Jordan, who most people know as this guy. The story follows Ryan Drake, who is attempting to recover an asset from a Russian base, but there seems to be a rogue element in place, or rather, a shadow figure is also in play with this mission. I know that the Critical Drinker has legions of followers, and I'll not talk about his channel at all except now during this review, because unlike what he does, I want to focus on the film and nothing else. I also know that this is a proof of concept for a TV series, as is labeled in the name of the video, but since that doesn't exist yet, I can only review it as a short film or a TV pilot. The story begins with flavor text describing how the CIA formed a new classified unit involving elite veterans that were designed to retrieve valued assets from enemy lines. In the first scene, we see a woman who is tied up being tortured by some kind of shadowy Russian figure. She is then shown lying down in her cell when a mysterious man begins to walk toward her. Before we see who the man is, we cut to her doing a stealth mission in a parking garage near the Russian border. She sees some kind of worried informant speaking with, I presume, an agent about his wife and daughter, who are supposed to be protected for some reason. But before any kind of exchange of formalities can occur, the team is ambushed by some group of Russian militants led by someone named Volkov. To paraphrase the drinker, how did the Russians know where the high-value asset would be located? Don't know. Just as Volkov is gathering this unknowable asset, the woman who was in the cell earlier attempts to shoot Volkov with a sniper rifle, but surprise, she hits one of his men instead, which causes everyone to flee. Wow, that was lucky. There were nearly a dozen men in a parking garage, and you managed to not be seen by any of them, and yet some random NPC took the bullet for our main villain. Very convenient. We then teleport to a warehouse of some sort where Volkov is torturing two of the, I believe, agents, in order to find out the name of who led a mission where a maximum security prison in Russian territory was breached and the team's target was someone named Malice. It didn't take much interrogation to get that information out of one of the agents that the leader's name was Ryan Drake. I guess it's worked so easily because Volkov brought out the hammer, and you don't mess with someone when it's hammer time. Anyway, we then follow three agents. I assume all these people are somehow involved with the elite veterans unit the flavor text stated at the beginning. Two of the team members look like they are the muscle of the group, and the third is the tech guy. At least I think that's what he is. Sorry, the movie is not exactly clear about who does what. It's here where we meet Ryan Drake, who just happens to have the best surveillance video I've ever seen that shows the two agents in the previous scene being interrogated. I'd like to point out that one of the lines of dialogue Volkov delivers in this playback does not match what he said in the previous scene. Thanks for the continuity error, I really appreciate it. We see a brief flashback showing Drake with one of the now dead prisoners in some kind of sentimental sequence. At least I think it was, because who the hell are these characters and why should I care? Now the team must breach this Russian warehouse and secure their target, who apparently has been investigating some kind of separatist group in Estonia. I don't know about you, but I love the first half of a movie being an exposition dump, even though I don't know any of these characters, who they are, or whether or not I should even care. Let's talk about the female operative in this group. I love how a guy who has spent years on the internet and made a fortune talking about girl bosses and complaining about Mary Sue's, then goes and does the most ironic thing ever and creates a girl boss and a Mary Sue. Both women in this story are exactly the thing he has made his career lambasting. The irony is not lost on me. Anyway, some kind of action happens because the script demands it. The bad guy dies, and the mysterious man from the beginning of the movie in the prison cell approaches the prison cell of that woman, and it turns out to be Drake, implying that they have some kind of history together, I guess. There are two mid-credit scenes, which may have added a little bit of intrigue to the universe if I wasn't sure who was who and why they were doing what they were doing. This film is over-edited. It is cut so quickly during action sequences, and it is so frantic with its shooting style that I couldn't tell what was happening, which then caused me to not feel the impact of any of the casualties during this mission. The lighting is terrible. There's even a sequence where there's only red lighting in the room, and I didn't know who was attacking who or what in the world was going on. It was just one of those things where something is moving on the screen so you can at least say, hey, my TV isn't broken at least. The music is amped up way too much also, and the type of music that was selected is sometimes incompatible with the mood of the conversations our characters are having. It just seems like it was written, insert generic spy music here, and don't worry about it. I also need to talk about the lighting as a whole. The entire movie looks like it was shot during that mid-2000s era where everything is color coordinated in a soft way, where they are trying to add a layer of filth over the lens, and that stuff went out about 10 years ago. I felt like I was watching any generic Mark Wahlberg or Michael Bay ripoff film from 2009. I know it's a low-budget indie film, but comparing it to recent indie films, it falls way short. It isn't shot with any passion like the film Milk and Cereal was, nor did it flow like the indie film Whiplash on a cinematography level. It just seems below par even for an independent film. I already hear people saying to me, like, you can do better. Well, maybe you should know my background before you make assumptions like that. I'm also a writer, so let's talk about that. It's bad. Like, this is the most boilerplate, milquetoast action dialogue you can imagine. None of the characters have identifiable quirks to them. I'm not even talking like sarcastic quirks as seen in Marvel films. I mean not even something as simple as one of the characters chews gum before going on a mission. Not one single identifiable trait for any of the characters, just being badasses, I guess. There's even action film cliches some of the characters use before one of the bad guys is killed. My favorite being when Frost, the brunette woman, says, "Lights out, shitbird," before a bad guy gets his head blown off. Why do I feel like I'm watching a Mad Magazine parody of the film SWAT? Again, I know that this is supposed to be a proof of concept, but I didn't know nor care about any of the characters. The writing was inauthentic, forced, and if you look behind the eyes of the actors, I believe none of them had a clue who their characters were or how and why they act the way they do. The cinematography is below average, and everything about this picture is supremely middling to straight up bad. I would give anyone who sees this short movie a test that they won't be able to remember a single thing about it a week after they saw it, and I'm sure that they'd flunk every question. Will I be watching this if it ever becomes a TV show? Based on what I saw, no, I will not, because I have better things to do like water my plants or walk my gimp. I give Rogue Elements 1 star and a golden turkey. Thanks so much for watching. I'm sure to get many hateful comments from critical drinker diehards, and that's fine. I actually look at films as an art piece, unlike that guy, and this art piece left me bored and wishing I was doing anything else. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if my views don't match yours, that's fine. This is my channel, and I will never sacrifice my artistic integrity just to make fans of another person happy. If the writer of Rogue Elements can mock and ridicule people based on things he doesn't know the first thing about, then I can go ahead and say that his movie is just shit. For someone who is making a series of videos about why modern movies suck, he sure doesn't know how to make them good either. Anyway, please like and subscribe if you wish, though my ratio on this one might be terrible. Here's links to some of my other videos. Follow me on social media if you like, and until next time, I am Ghost.